Alright, hey guys, and welcome back to the channel and welcome back to a brand new hero concept video. Today I'm going to be talking about a really cool character that some of you might not know if you haven't seen Star Wars Rebels, and that is the Grand Inquisitor. Now the Grand Inquisitor, if you didn't know, was originally a Jedi Temple Guard, and basically when Order 66 went down, the Temple Guards kind of turned into the Inquisitors, which were used to hunt down the remaining Jedi, and they worked directly underneath Darth Vader, and the Grand Inquisitor was the head of all of them. He was, the top ranked Inquisitor underneath Darth Vader. He reported directly to him, and he was assigned the different Jedi to hunt down. So he's a really cool character. We see him a bit in Star Wars Rebels, and I'm going to try and play some clips throughout this video so that you guys can get an idea of what he looks like and sort of how he fights and what his lightsaber style is. So he's going to be a really cool character to do, and I actually really liked doing this hero concept. It was a lot of fun, and it makes me want to watch Star Wars Rebels again, so it's definitely something I'm probably going to be doing very soon. Anyways, before we get into all of the details for the Grand Inquisitor, I just want to say a huge thank you for all of the support lately. You guys have been amazing. I know you're liking the new content with all the clone commandos and the PvE stuff, so there will be another PvE video coming tomorrow, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But if you do enjoy this video, make sure you smash a massive thumbs up on the video because it does help the channel out, and if you want to leave a comment, absolutely feel free. Anyways, getting into it. So the Grand Inquisitor, I'm going to start him with 750 base health. I think this is a good spot for most lightsaber heroes. The villains and heroes balancing has always been an issue, so hopefully 750 is kind of that middle of the range ballpark, and I think he'd fit quite well because the Grand Inquisitor, he is extremely powerful in the Force, and you'll see that in some of the clips that I run throughout this video that he does absolutely dismantle Kanan in a few different situations, so hopefully this is a good starting point and you guys agree. Now I'm going to do a lot of references towards Count Dooku in this video because he does actually kind of remind me of him a little bit, and I'll tell you why in just a second. I'm going to give him a similar run speed to Count Dooku and a run style, so with the lightsaber dragging behind him. I think this is a really cool animation or look for how they run, and I'm going to give it to the Grand Inquisitor as well. His weapon of choice is of course going to be his red lightsaber with the circular hilt. You'll see that throughout the clips as well as in the first image that I popped up on screen at the start of the video, but it's going to start with a single blade until he activates two of his abilities that will bring out the second end of the lightsaber. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with the Grand Inquisitor, he has a circular hilt lightsaber, which basically has one end come out, and he fights kind of similar to Dooku. It looks almost like he's got a dueling style to it, and then he can activate the second end of it whenever he wants, and it does actually rotate around that circular hilt if he wants it to. So that's really cool. I'll get to some of the abilities in just a minute, and that will talk about that a little bit more in detail. But for now, I think he's going to have a singular blade until the abilities are activated. His lightsaber damage is going to be 120 from the front and 150 from behind. So this way you can take out all infantry in 2 hits, and if you're attacking from behind, you can take out all infantry in 1 hit except for the heavy or a buffed officer. I think this is good for lightsaber damage, and they have started to do more damage from behind enemies, so I think that's going to be quite a good spot for him. Now in terms of skins, if we're going to talk about this, there's only really 2 I could come up with, and that's the default appearance that we see him with, and then potentially even a Temple Guard appearance. There is one point where we see a scene of Kanan taking on multiple Jedi Temple Guards at once in the Jedi Temple, and I think this could work if they don't plan on adding a Temple Guard as a reinforcement at any point. If they can clearly say that they're going to write this off and not do a Temple Guard as like a reinforcement or a future hero or anything like that, then they could probably do this as a skin, because then if you see a Temple Guard on the battlefront, then it's only ever going to be the Grand Inquisitor. So I think that could potentially work. Maybe you could do like a hooded appearance or something like that. I'm not really sure. We don't really see too much of him outside of his standard default appearance, so those 2 are the only ones I could come up with. But if you think of something, definitely drop it down below in the comments. Moving on from skins though, we are going to talk about abilities, and he has some of the coolest abilities. Now I have to remind you guys that all the concept artwork did get thought up by my friend Jake Henne, and if you haven't seen any of his stuff before, I will leave links down in the description below, but he basically came up with the artwork and all the ability ideas for this, so I think he's done a really good job with the Grand Inquisitor and the abilities. Sometimes I mix up the stuff he comes up with, sometimes I change it a little bit or tweak it, but I think he's done really well with these ones. So the first ability is called Jedi Hunter, and it's going to be a stamina and damage reduction, and it's also going to activate both ends of the lightsaber while the ability is running. So basically you'll get stamina reduction, you'll take less damage while this is active, and it's going to kind of work like Darth Vader's middle ability, so that's going to be very similar, and then also activates the second end of the lightsaber, so you'll be able to fight kind of like how Darth Darth Maul does with both ends of the lightsaber. I think this is a really cool idea for an ability. Obviously, with both ends of the lightsaber will increase his damage per second because he's going to be using 2 ends of the blade. I'm not really going to give him extra damage, but he may speed up his attacks in that ability. It's a really cool sounding idea, and I like the fact that you can manually activate the extra end of the lightsaber, kind of similar to Grievous bringing out the 4 lightsabers when you use 2 of his abilities, and I think that's a really cool idea, except this time they're on a timer, so you can have a little bit more fun with them. The second ability is going to be called Spinning Blades, and this is kind of going to be a mix between the spin that Darth Maul uses and Grievous's Unrelenting Advance. So picture this, basically the Grand Inquisitor is going to grab his lightsaber out in front of him, it's going to spin with both ends of the blade activated, so you'll have the double end, it's going to rotate, and then it's going to be like Grievous's Unrelenting Advance where you can walk or run around. Now, I think this would be better suited with the Grand Inquisitor's fighting style to actually have full control of him. That way you can run around the battlefront with this lightsaber spinning in front of him and basically taking out enemies however you want them. Now, you guys all know from playing Grievous that you're kind of limited in his movement when you activate Unrelenting Advance. I would love to see this ability have like that complete control that you can just run around, you can turn your head quickly, you can spin it, and you can just run all over the place melting people. So I think that would be really cool, and I would give it like maybe a 5 or 6 second timer with the ability to boost it up to maybe 12 seconds with star cards. I will talk about those in just a second though, so let's talk about the third ability. Jake's got the third ability as Mind Probe, where you probe your enemy's mind, slowing their movement speed and causing damage over time. It's going to work like Dooku's Exposed Weakness, where it slows down the enemy that you highlight, and then it's also going to cause some damage over time. So similar to, and as much as I hate to bring it up in these videos, similar to how the Stinger pistol works with the damage over time, except hopefully minus the annoying sound that it makes, and maybe just a damage over time standard instead of a stacking ability like the Stinger pistol has. So I think this could be a cool ability as well. Slowing down enemies seems to give you a huge advantage, especially in heroes versus villains when you're taking on the light side. It can definitely be useful in certain situations. So those are the 3 abilities. Let me know what you guys think of them. If you want to change them up, definitely drop some options in the comment section below, but we are going to get into the star cards. Now, the first star card I've come up with is going to be an extra health regeneration. Now, with the health on kill cards being removed in just 2 days in the following update, I think removing them from the hero concepts altogether is going to be the way to go. So moving forward, I probably won't be featuring health on kill cards in any of the hero concepts. So this one is going to have an extra health regeneration, similar to the likes of Obi-Wan Kenobi with his star card. The second card is going to be an increased active time for kills with Jedi Hunter in use. So basically, anyone that you kill while Jedi Hunter is active, it will boost the active time and kind of refresh a little bit. Same as the Recharge Vanguard and all those kind of abilities that you have, where it's every time you get a kill, you get a little bit more time with that ability. The third star card is going to be a bonus damage reduction while Jedi Hunter is active. So as soon as you activate this ability, you are going to get an extra damage reduction on top of the one you've already got. So say the standard is, 30% damage reduction. This star card will be able to boost you up to 40 or 50% for the 5 to 10 seconds that this ability is active. I think this would be really cool, and basically just another option that diversifies the character a little bit and the way that they play, because I feel like not many people use bonus damage reduction cards, and that could be something that is really effective in terms of GA, not taking too much damage. You can charge into a room full of people, and that way you don't lose too much health and you can come out the other side successful and not getting melted by a bunch of blaster heroes. The fourth star card is going to be a longer active time for Spinning Blades to be in use, and I mentioned this just a minute ago. Spinning Blades is going to give you full control for like 5 or 6 seconds, and then up to 12 seconds with this star card. So the purple would take it probably, up to 12 seconds I think would be a good spot to have it. You don't want it lasting too long, especially if it does a decent amount of damage. So 12 seconds with a kind of a medium range of damage I think would be a good way to do it. The next star card is going to be the damage reduction when Spinning Blades ability is active, so you'll get a further damage reduction while this ability is in play as well. It's kind of like the abilities that most of the heroes have now when they're using force abilities, like Obi-Wan using push, he gets a damage reduction. When Vader uses choke, he gets a damage reduction. This would be something similar to that. Now, the next star card is going to be a bonus damage caused to any enemies affected by the Mind Probe. Now, this is very similar to Count Dooku's star card, where he does bonus damage when Exposed Weakness is active on an enemy. So this is the same kind of thing. When you use the Mind Probe on someone, they are going to take bonus damage. It's more of a heroes versus villains based star card as opposed to Galactic Assault, because I don't think too many people would use that in GA, but it's definitely a cool one to throw in there nonetheless. And last but not least, the recharge time for Mind Probe is faster if an enemy is defeated while under its effect. So I think a slight recharge time would be cool if you defeat someone while they're affected by buy the Mind Probe. This would kind of just give you the option to use it more often, because if you do get a kill while it's active, you get a faster recharge time to use the ability once again. So guys, these are all the star cards. Let me know what you think of these as well. I'm definitely curious to see what you guys can come up with on top of this, and see if you guys can mix it up and change the star cards a little bit. So this is pretty much all I have for the Grand Inquisitor at the moment. Like I said at the start, he is a very cool character, and I love the idea of adding him into Battlefront 2. Not that I think he's ever going to get added. I think he's one of those minuscule characters that's probably going to get overlooked, but he's very cool to speculate on nonetheless. So I appreciate all you guys watching this video. I know you guys have been loving the hero concepts. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and if you did enjoy and you aren't subscribed yet, make sure to hit that big subscribe button down below and turn on all notifications so you get an alert when I stream or post a brand new video. Thank you guys again so much for watching. I will see you in the next one, and may the force be with you always.
The Sith